Hi, and welcome to Metro Palette. I'm Chris Knutson. We are joined with Chuck Delaney.
How are you, Chris?
Hey, I'm good, Chuck.
Good.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Chuck Delaney and his wife Lorelei own a business called Armstrong Ranch, and they also have one of what I think is the coolest trade show called Game Fair, and that's where we are. We are live on location at Game Fair in the Art Barn. And Chuck, please tell the crowd here, what is Game Fair?
Well, Game Fair is an out-of-door show held in the out-of-doors, and this is our 32nd year. In 1980, I went to England to see the real Game Fair, and we thought it was so terrific. We thought we should bring it to Minnesota and have it at our home, because we got a pretty large place, and it's worked out great. It's a wonderful outdoor experience for everybody.
It really is. For those folks that have been here, they know exactly what Chuck's talking about. But if you have not come to Game Fair, I definitely recommend it. I've either been set up as an exhibitor or as just a patron probably 17 times over the years.
Yeah, we have lots. I get some chills every now and then. People come up with their young children and say, my dad brought me here when I was their age, you know, and it sort of chokes you up, because it's an emotional thing for me to have the people come here and enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
And the demographics of the show have changed so much with the youthful part of our show, where years ago when we first started, it was all older people, the senior crowd, and now we're getting all the youth, and it's terrific.
It really is. There's all kinds of activities for people to do here. Pretty much anyone who is anyone in the outdoors business has some type of tent or booth here. This year, I think you told me you have record attendance for exhibitors.
Yeah, we have the most. We've got 287 exhibitors, and a lot of them have expanded in their space sizes. Yeah. Everything here is for the outdoors, and the people that come to see your artwork and the taxidermy that's in this building, it's an enjoyable experience for the public.
Yeah, I try to put as much art in this building as I can, and it seems like every day I'm running back, getting more. And
well, that's good. That's good for you and good for us, because we want everybody to experience a good show. And we do 6 days because of weather, and fortunately we've been pretty lucky with the weather, and we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell everyone here, check out Chuck's website. It's www.gamefair.com. You can go on there and see what days the show is on, different exhibitors, all kinds of information.
Yeah, well, we put all the information on our website. We got a tremendous amount of hits. I think we're over 1 million, pretty close to 1.2 million on our website. A lot of information that's out there. We're the second and third weekend always of August, and it's like I say, it's a family deal. There's no beer or alcohol served. We want to keep it for the family and keep everybody together.
Yeah, if you're an exhibitor or a potential exhibitor, I definitely recommend coming up to Game Fair. Chuck and Lorelei do a great job of getting a lot of people in here that are very passionate about the outdoors. And like I said before, there's all different kinds of things to come watch. Chuck, tell us about some of the events that you have going on.
Last year we had 4,600 dogs come, and that's what makes the show. The show is the people that attend, because we have shooting, archery, dog trials, fun dog events, and the kids can get involved with learning all different types of things. We got probably 25 seminars that go on, from dog training to deer to moose, elk, everything that they can experience in the outdoors. And we have exhibitors from Virginia to Tennessee, Ohio, all over the country come, California. Those are the things that excite me, to see the people coming to Minnesota which is probably the biggest outdoor state in the United States as far as I'm concerned. We've got 26 sportsmen's groups here, 16 dog clubs here. Nobody in the country or in England has that many groups here.
Yeah, it's fun walking around here. There's dogs that I've never seen before, and all of a sudden, you know, I mean, it's really a fun experience.
And it doesn't have to be a hunting dog. We get Great Danes and poodles and Chihuahuas and everything, because you can bring your dog to our show.
Yeah.
And that's sort of a family experience.
My wife would get more excited about coming here just because she knew my dog liked it so much.
Sure.
Our old Weimaraner had almost more fun than we did here.
Yeah. Well, the dogs have a great time because it's there's interest. We've been very fortunate not having any big problems with dogs, and the people control them. You have to have them on a leash, you know.
Yeah.
And those are the things we require them to register at the front gate, and we need the vet's name and phone number.
Yeah.
And they get a number from the Eukanuba company to wear on their back, and it's an experience. People are proud of it, you know, and they're proud of their dogs.
And as far as dogs go, Chuck and his wife Lorelei have a business. What is Armstrong Ranch?
Kennels.
What is Armstrong Kennels?
Ranch Kennels. And I've only been here 53 years. My wife was born here. Her dad started it in the 20s, and we've been in the dog business ever since. And we've got a wonderful facility.
Boarding, training.
But we have everything for the...
Yeah, you can check out that business too. What's the website for that
ArmstrongKennels.com.
Yep, and just for those at home too, I definitely recommend coming on up to the show here. It's always the second and third weekend of August. Check out their website. It's www.gamefair.com. As far as like just walk-up sales, I mean, do people have to pre-buy tickets, or is it
No, they just get them at the box office.
Okay.
There's always a discount coupon online, so they get a little discount. It's a family deal.
Yeah,
and the kids on Fridays all get in free with
nice.
the adults, so you can have a
Great.
nice time on Fridays.
Yeah, and Chuck's good friends with Ron Shera, and Ron does all the MC work here at the show.
Ron's worked for me for 32 years.
Yep.
And we've got a great relationship. We have lots of people, like I say, that come every year for ever, and it's amazing to see.
Well, Chuck, I want to thank you so much for coming on the program today.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure, and I hope everybody that enjoys the outdoors will try to make it out.
Yeah, definitely. If you haven't been to Game Fair, definitely I recommend it. I can't strongly recommend it enough. Otherwise, if you have been here before, come on back. It's bigger and better than ever. So please hold tight, and we'll be right back with Scott Storm. Welcome back to the program. We are joined by a friend of mine, Scott Storm. Hi, Scott.
How you doing?
Hey, welcome back to the show. It's been a couple years.
Yeah, it has. Good to be back.
Yeah, Scott, since the last time we had him on the program, Scott's been super busy. He's won one federal duck stamp as well as a bunch of other stamps, which is the competitive side. And then as far as an artist, you've been really busy painting.
Absolutely.
We obviously can't talk about all of them in a short time here, but bring us up to speed on your most successful stamp here, the federal.
Well, the federal happened in 2004, and that was something that was always been a goal of mine. And it just kind of puts you in a whole different realm as far as artwork goes. Just opens a lot of doors. Has allowed me to do a lot of things with conservation groups like Ducks Unlimited, Pheasants Forever, who I've worked with for many years anyway, and I've done a lot of pieces for them also.
Yeah, Scott and I have been friends, and I've been selling his artwork for over 15 years now, and man, it keeps getting better and better.
That's why we're both getting gray.
I know, man. We can maybe dub some of this out of here on the video editing. But yeah, it goes quick.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, we're out here on site at Game Fair in the Art Barn, and Scott's a regular here in the booth. He's been kind enough to come out and do live painting demonstrations. A lot of people kind of walk around and they're like, oh, Scott Storm, we got some of his prints, and then I'll bring them over and introduce them to you, and they're kind of like starstruck sometimes. So
Well, the honor's mine.
yeah, that's cool. Well, Scott today is working on a little fox painting here. Tell us, what kind of paint do you use?
I use acrylic paint, and I paint on a hardboard. It's like a masonite type panel. So I'll prep those, and I do a lot of studies, before the paintings, and sometimes the studies take a lot longer. But out here, I'm doing some live painting. I'll be working on fox a little bit, and a loon a little bit later today.
Sure. Yeah, we've sold some of Scott's originals over the years. If you want to see any of Scott's art or any of the artists that we carry, check out our website. It's www.artbarbarians.com, and you can just go right to the print gallery and look up each individual artist. We have everything Scott's done A to Z on the website. Mm-hmm. What's nice about having you out at Game Fair is we kind of use this to kind of show some of the new pieces.
Right.
Today you brought a new piece that I've saw the original. This is the canvas of the wolves here.
Yeah, it's called Primal. It's three wolves eating a deer carcass, which is kind of stepping out of bounds a little bit in some cases, because you just don't see those sorts of things. But I wanted to do the piece for probably 10 years. Finally got the reference a couple of years ago, but it's about life. It's the circle of life, and that's what happens in nature. And the wolves have become such a big issue the last couple of years. I wanted to portray, what happens in nature.
Yeah, it's a great piece. I don't know if the video here will do it justice. It's one of those ones that in person it's really interesting. Another piece that we have on display here this year for the first time at Game Fair is this Salmon Run, the new grizzly piece, which I think this is my favorite piece that you've ever done.
Well,
tell us a little bit about Salmon Run.
Again, I guess most of the things I've been doing have been ducks and pheasants and sporting dogs, white-tailed deer, and I really haven't gone too much to the big game. But this was a brown bear up from Alaska that we got reference from, but it's a big splash piece, and it was very challenging in that it's probably 90% water drops, but it's a brown bear chasing a coho salmon.
Yeah, this piece here, in my shop, I'm lucky enough to do framing for a number of Minnesota's talented wildlife artists, and that when I had that original hanging in the shop, a lot of them would come up and study that piece really hard and really comment on it. So,
well, that could be good or bad, but
yeah, well, it was all good comments. So, and I know a lot of you guys like to look at each other to kind of. I can always tell when an artist comes in my studio, in our shop in Rogers, the way they kind of study it and get a different angle and look down on the piece and kind of, they're trying to figure out how you're doing some of that stuff.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, well, it's I do that too, and it's something to push you, something to drive your competitive nature, I guess.
Yeah, and as a predecessor now to Primal, I know for a fact you were the 3-time back-to-back MDHA Artist of the Year.
Yeah,
tell us about
Deer Hunters Association.
Yeah, tell us about that series.
That kind of lends itself to that primal piece, like you're saying. It's about the white-tailed deer growing up. At first, the wolves are constantly hunting, and after the whitetails, the second piece was the wolves chasing, and then the third piece was the skull of that deer. You don't quite know whether the wolves caught it or it just died of old age, but in the background is a younger deer that has the same genetic traits that buck did.
Yeah, the circle of life.
The circle of life, you bet.
Yeah. Tell us about Game Fair. What do you like about Game Fair being out here?
Well, I wish I had more time to walk around, but but the fact of the matter is, Game Fair is one of those events that has everything for the outdoorsman. It's not just hunting, it's not just outdoors, it's got shooting, sports, archery, guns, dog stuff going on all over the place. The vendors, the new products are out. It's always fun to see the new products for the year. So it's fun.
Yeah, every now and then I'll sell a piece and we'll go try to find Scott to sign it, and I'll have to get on the phone and call him, and he's out looking for decoys or something. So
I'm trying to get inspired is what's happening.
There you go. Yeah, if you work it right too, that might be a little tax write-off there for reference.
You got to take advantage of what you can.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, for those at home, come on down. Scott's been hanging out in our booth here now for years at Game Fair. So whether it's this year or next year, second and third weekend of August, you can come up. Game Fair is located off Armstrong Boulevard, halfway between Anoka and Elk River, right on Highway 10. Mm-hmm. And Scott, I want to thank you for coming up here to Game Fair for all these years. And
appreciate it. It's a good time to hang out.
Yeah, and thanks for coming on the show today.
You bet.
And if anyone has any questions for Scott or ever wants to buy a piece, please check out our website or stop by our gallery in Rogers, Minnesota. We're right on Interstate 94, a couple doors west of Miller Chevrolet. But I want everyone at home to please hold tight. We're going to have another guest. Michael Sieve will be coming up next. Hi, and welcome back to Metro Pallet. We are joined by a familiar face on the show, Michael Sieve. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, Mike's another friend of ours that comes up to Game Fair, hangs out in the booth. Mike's been cool enough to bring up an easel and paint here. I know a lot of my customers are really excited when Mike's here alone, let alone painting in front of them, so they get to kind of see how you do it.
Yep. It's always fun. It's always fun to work in front of people.
Yeah. Our last guest, Scott Storm, uses acrylic paints. Mike uses oil.
Oil paints, right?
Tell us about oil.
Well,
why oil?
Why oil? I guess I like oil paints. I like their richness. I like the ability to work the medium longer, to work the paint longer. I think I end up with a richer, deeper color palette, and it's what I like to do. I mean, it takes a little longer, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah. Game Fair here has got something for everyone, and I just try to do my part. I'm trying to bring the best of the best artists out here to Game Fair. Over the years, we've had the Houtman brothers, Scott Storm, Mike Sieve's been out. Scott and Mike have been here the most. Tom Moan, a number of other artists. So if you guys want to come up and meet these guys, just come on up to Game Fair. It's the second and third weekend of August. Just look for the Art Barn, and when you're here, I try to bring as much art, so I got something for everyone. But Mike, let's talk about what you've been up to lately. I know I turkey hunt down on Mike's farm here, and Mike has done a series here for the National Wild Turkey Federation. Tell us about that series.
I just finished a series of paintings, Chris, and I call it the Thunder Valley series. And basically it's 5 paintings, it's 2 verticals and a horizontal, and then 2 more verticals, and it basically portrays the hunt itself, the turkey hunt. So the first one is an owl on the roost in the dark. It's called Who Cooks for You? And the second one is a tom turkey up in the tree gobbling. It's called First Gobble. And then the horizontal is called Fly Down, where the bird's coming down from the roost. And the fourth one in the series is I think it's going to be called The Moment of Truth, or something to that effect. And it's the turkey strutting into the decoy with the hunters in the background. And the last one is Heading for Home, Heading Back, something like that. I don't know the titles exactly right now, but they're all 5 done. And it turned out really, really well. It basically, like I say, it portrays the hunt from start to finish, from when you go out early in the morning in the dark until you're heading back to camp at the end of the day, having taken a turkey.
Yeah, and just the title of the first one, just so there's no confusion. Me being a turkey hunter, I know what Who Cooks for You?
Who Cooks for You is kind of the sound of the barred owl. And it's just, it basically portrays the owl in the tree, the barred owl, and hunters oftentimes listen for that. It's one of the sounds that carries on throughout the night and even into the morning. And generally when you're turkey hunting in the dark, you want to get out real early in the dark before the first turkey gobbles before the first gobble.
Yeah.
And the owl is one of the first birds you hear.
Yeah.
Before any songbirds are singing or any of the crows are calling or the turkeys are gobbling, the owl is calling at night.
Yeah.
And his call is basically, who cooks for you, who cooks for you all. It's kind of a real traditional turkey hunting sound.
Yeah. And it's kind of a shock locator.
Yeah, a lot of hunters use it to get a turkey to gobble back. A lot of toms will gobble when they hear that first call, when they hear that owl. When they're ready to gobble and the owl calls, a lot of times the tom turkey will call back to it. So it's kind of it gets the toms going also.
Yeah, and for those at home who don't know Mike's art, if you're into any kind of hunting or outdoors, Mike has painted pretty much everything there is to paint over the years.
And I've turkey hunted for many years now, and I live in some of the best turkey hunting in Minnesota, if not the very best. We've got turkeys, as you know, Chris. Chris has hunted down at my place many years. Literally out my back door. We literally walk out the back door and hunt turkeys.
Yeah.
It's a great area for that.
Oh, it's just beautiful down there. Seriously, I mean, you call the painting God's country, and when you're down there, it truly is. Feels like heaven down there with the valleys and the bluffs.
And the nice thing about turkey hunting is, after a long winter, the birds are back, the birds are singing, the weather's nice. Just a wonderful time of year to be out early in the morning and listening to the turkey and the songbirds and seeing the first flowers come up. And it's a great time of year. It's a great hunt.
And for those at home who have young kids, turkey hunting is a great way to get your kids introduced to hunting. Mike's got some blinds down there that I brought both my 11-year-old daughter and my 10-year-old son down hunting, and I mean, they just can't wait to go again the next year.
Yep. Kids love it.
Oh yeah.
Kids love it.
And then, sticking to the artwork here though, Mike, I know like Africa is like a go-to spot of yours.
Yep.
And I know over the years you've done a number of pieces. You got this new piece here called Black Magic. Tell us about this sable here.
Black Magic is a sable antelope. It's a real distinct, very dramatic looking black antelope from Africa with the sweeping horns that curve back. And they're very impressive animals. And generally the time of year when I've hunted Africa, it's the dry season, so everything is very monotone and dull, and these jet black sable stand out just beautifully in the bush. They're so dramatic. And they're not only dramatic in the bush, but they're a dramatic looking animal. So I did this painting called Black Magic. It's based on a friend of mine who shot this particular sable on this particular location in Zimbabwe. And Zimbabwe's had a lot of troubles over the years, political troubles and economic and stuff like that, but it's got great hunting.
Yeah.
And this is the first sable that I was along when it was taken. And I just told my friend, I said, I'm going to do a painting of this sable in this setting. It turned out really well.
Yeah, Mike's got a couple friends that he travels with, and you're able to kind of go hunt some really exotic animals.
Yep.
I know.
I've gone on a number of African hunts. I've hunted Africa once myself, and gone on a number of safaris with people. And also, mainly when I go to Africa, I go as a photographer and travel, to various photo places. Usually some of the parks and things like that. When we went to
North Dakota a couple years back, I was all gung-ho about hunting and stuff, and Mike was more excited about walking around with the camera.
Yeah. I like hunting. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But my time is split between hunting and research for paintings, and in some ways they're the same, but in some ways they take a different time frame, a different time when I'm out there. Yeah, Mike was kind enough to put me up in a tree. You were glassing a river bottom up in North Dakota, and put me in a tree and got me right on a nice big buck.
I saw a nice buck go into a cottonwood thicket, and Chris was hunting a different area, so I scouted out and found a nice cottonwood tree, and sure enough, he came walking by.
Yeah.
So
that
worked
was
out well.
Great time out there and great landscape. I can't wait to see some paintings from some of those.
Well, in fact, one painting is from there, the Buffalo Hunters.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And that's from that area, more from the dry land outside the river valley. We were hunting along the Little Missouri River, and the Buffalo Hunters is from the uplands right near there. So same area.
Yeah, that buffalo hunting scene is a great piece. It's I shot a deer right on the river, right on the other side. It's like total badlands. You painted a couple cowboys.
Yeah, well, buffalo hunters from the old-time Western days. In fact, the area that we were in, Chris, was the last
buffalo hunt in North Dakota, one of the last hunts on the northern plains, the last northern plain buffalo hunts before they were virtually wiped out.
Yeah, it's got to be the nicest country up in North Dakota.
Beautiful country.
Southwest
Yep.
corner, down by
Southwest
Bowman.
corner, yep. The Badlands of North Dakota.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, and Mike, on the way home, you said, "Oh, I want to do a painting," and you borrowed one of my dad's gun holsters.
Right, yep.
Put that in there.
Yep, and an old Sharps rifle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, beautiful piece. Hey, let's talk about a whitetail. For those who collect Mike's art, Mike is really well known for painting great deer paintings, along with other stuff, but deer is really kind of what you've been known for over the years, and you got this new
Yeah.
series here, the Shades of Gray, a couple years ago.
A couple of years ago I did Shades of Gray. It's from a scene near where I live, and I tend to like to do series paintings, kind of like the Thunder Valley series. Shades of Gray is the same scene early in the season, at night when the bucks are scraping at night, and then during the gun season, basically when they're moving during the daytime, and that's a daytime scene. And then late in the year, Shades of White is late in the year, like Christmas or New Year's time, when the bucks are coming out to feed heavily, to put on weight again, to regain their strength. So that's a deer series.
Yeah, and just for my opinion to be interjected here, I think the Shades of Gray painting itself is my favorite whitetail piece you've ever done.
And I tend to agree with that. It's one of my favorites, if not my favorite deer painting.
Yeah, it's
Shades
like
of Gray.
Totally a three-dimensional piece that just jumps off the canvas. So, but yeah, if you're into Mike's art and or into any art for that matter, check out our website. It's www.artbarbarians.com, or get in the car and head out up to Game Fair. Again, it's the second and third weekend of August, located halfway between Anoka and Elk River, right on Highway 10. So I want to thank everyone at home for joining the program today, and I want to thank Mike Sieve here